G'day and welcome to How To CNC. I'm Andrew. In this video I want to show you how I cut and milled out the sections for these FritsJurgen hinges. They are a high quality centre pivot hinge from the Netherlands. I highly recommend them if you're looking to get a centre pivot door. They're well made, well engineered and of a high quality. I helped create the toolpaths and designed how to cut these doors out on the CNC for this Japanese fine dining restaurant in Brisbane's West End. They turned out fantastic with all their matching artwork. The restaurant's called Ippen. This here is the brochure you can find online for the FritsJurgen hinges. The hinges I used at the time were a centre pivot hinge, Series 1 I believe they were. If you scroll down further you'll find the actual milling instructions which give you all the dimensions you need to cut out the holes, the sides, anything you need for the general shape of the hinge. Now from there you need to drill 2 holes in the outside of the door. They are for a large or a long Allen key that goes in through the holes, through the composite foam as a guide and lines up with the hole in the hinge to adjust the spigot once it's installed. So once it's installed, it helps you make the door line up with the floor, make sure it's not ajar. It's quite a clever design. This is the 20mm you need to leave on the outside. This is for the foam, and that of course is the hinge. We had a bit of a laugh, we couldn't figure out how this lined up. I told the boys to flip it over because it has a notch here cut out already. The other side's for cutting. This is the Allen key that slid in from the side to line up with the hinge. Now this is a CNC machine I was using at the time. It has 8 tools, automatic tool changer, well built, but it was 0.2 of a millimetre out, which didn't matter too much for large shapes. But when it came to tight fitting parts, there was a bit of trial and error. Now to overcome this, I had to, again, look up the milling instructions, which are very clear in the brochure. They helped out a lot. There wasn't much online to go by, so I had to sort of wing it. This is the actual hinge itself. These are the dimensions of the hinge. I started with that first. I copied the hinge dimensions. I then copied down the milling instructions from the brochure. And then I moved the design 0.2 of a millimetre out to the right. That one's 0.4. I did the bottom hinge 0.4, 0.6, and then 0.8 of a millimetre out to the right. Now these are the basic milling program I did, just a section of pockets. I think there's about 3 pockets all up, and that gives you the shape of the hinge. Ignore these circles, they were for an adjustable shelf. Now they turned out great. I did actually forget to cut that little section out. I'll just ignore that for now, pretend it didn't happen. These are the actual shapes that actually worked, to my surprise, without too much trial and error. Now these are the locks. This is going to be the end result once they're in the doors, sandwiched together. This is one door I had to make which pivoted on the left side. All the others were in the centre. If the same thing applied, there was a little bit of a door, 20mm I believe it was, on the outside. Now there is an issue with lining up these hinges. Wherever they're going to pivot from, if it's the centre of the door or the left or the right, you must line up the centre of the spigot to the centre of the door or wherever you're going to mill the hinge into. I'll explain it now. The spigot that pops up here, that is the part you must line up with the centre of your door. It can't be off, otherwise your door will be ajar. It won't line up properly. I'll explain now. As long as you line everything up with the middle of the spigot, it will match up with the door and everything will run smoothly. Same with the bottom, must line up. This is the basic shape it will actually cut out. Kind of looks like an upside down top hat. Now these doors, of course, it wasn't finished there. I had to somehow line up these slats perfectly on all 6 or 7 doors And they all had matching artwork as well, just to complicate things more. This job wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard either. It was a good challenge. The head cabinet maker at the time, he asked me to make a template to line up all the wooden dress timber slats, the 2 horizontals and the verticals. So I had to figure out how many slats they were, make it an even divide across the whole door, and then line up the horizontal slats. So I made this program and milled out slots basically, about 10 or 15 mil deep. So when they put all the timber in, they could put the vertical ones in exactly the same every time. I was also asked to make a gluing template. So this is the polar opposite. The actual timber slats on the door were 20 millimeters wide, and they asked me to make these 18 millimeters wide. So this goes on top of the door, on top of the artwork when it's all finished. And they spray glue on top, and that way there's no glue runoff. So when they go to stick on the nice dress timber, there's no glue on all the fancy artwork. I believed it turned out all right. I'm not sure if they actually used them. I think I was away that day, but it turned out great. This is the actual milling program that I made up for it. I do remember I cut them out, but I don't know if they used them. So it's basically just a long set of slots to put over the top, spray some glue on, and then obviously they tack it down with nails or however they did it. But all the boys did a great job. It was a good challenge, and I'm glad and proud that I helped make this restaurant, which is amazing considering I did it all with my mouth. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye now.